moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Thursday, 20th March 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi Holder. It's nice to be in the studio this morning. We're feeling refreshed, we're feeling ready to go. We have a lot to discuss, a lot of exciting things happening in the past week, and we're ready to have that discussion.
Yes, and of course, we do hope that you could stay with us throughout the discussions this morning as we talk about things happening right here in Tobago, impacting your lives and things that you are, going to be a part of in the Tobago space. Akinlabi, as you know, we're heading into that season, general election, the bell ring.
Yes, season starts.
So people are starting to get prepared. You're hearing a lot of things circulating in social media spaces, official releases coming out in terms of, so we're going to have a little chat about that when we come back from the news. But the atmosphere, it's already started. It has already begun.
So the excitement coming.
That's right. And so people are starting to get themselves ready where that is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, we do hope that you can stay with us as we have these conversations, as we talk about the things that affect me, you, and generations to come here on the island of Tobago. But in the meantime, before we get into all of that, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, March 20th, 2025. The Innovative Democratic Alliance political leader Denise Soyafat-Angus criticized the election timing, citing economic struggles and unresolved back pay. She accused the government of using recent billion-dollar projects like a hospital block and an airport terminal to mislead voters and gain political mileage. She questioned whether the ruling PNM would be rewarded despite alleged public fund misuse. Soyafat-Angus affirmed that the IDA's readiness for elections and announced plans to introduce candidates on March 25th. She argued that voters would head to the polls distracted from the government's poor performance. Former PSA President Watson Duke plans to take his legal battle to the Privy Council after repeated failures to secure pension payments from the union. His attorneys have applied for the conditional leave to challenge the appeal court's ruling upholding Justice Marissa Robertson's decision to discharge an injunction. Duke sued the PSA in June 2024, claiming it breached his contract by withholding his pensions after 2021 resignation. The court found the PSA could suffer financial harm if forced to pay. A pre-trial hearing is set for November 13th, but no trial date is scheduled. And finally, the Patriotic Front has unveiled 14 prospective candidates as they gear up to contest all 41 constituencies in the upcoming general elections. Political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, reaffirmed the party's dedication to offering voters an alternative to the dominant political parties. She acknowledged the party's financial limitations, but emphasized its other strengths. The remaining 27 candidates, including Pandey's own constituency, will be announced soon. Additionally, the Patriotic Front plans to release its manifesto detailing its vision and policies for the country. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And as we mentioned before, we're in that season.
Yes.
Season of election. Some of us call it silly season because so many things happen around that time. Of course, persons campaigning and hoping for the victory to take the reins over the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. And we see, of course, Michaela Pandey coming forward with 41 candidates. We also see the PNM ready with their 41 candidates, and we're seeing the TPP. Well, we know about Tobago East seat, and they're going back to screening for Tobago West seat. That is on Sunday the 23rd. Yes. So, we're hoping that,
on Sunday 23rd, we'll get that revelation.
Well, we're hoping that we get the revelation because we were waiting for the revelation prior to that.
Yes.
Whole 3-4 weeks almost,
Yes.
and we have to go back. So let's hope that it works out this time.
Yes.
And of course, for all the political parties who want to throw their hat in the ring,
True.
I wish them the best. But I'm talking about your last news story at the end of it, manifestos. This is something that I feel we need to pay attention to.
Yes.
Because the political parties, the leaders, they come up with this nice, juicy, fat manifesto. Of course, to persuade persons to vote for them, so that they can be in leadership.
Yes.
My word is accountability. There are some things in the manifesto that sound so good, They sound so good. And in terms of the how do you get this done? What are the strategies to ensure that you get all these promises? Because for me, a manifesto is a book of promises. How do you get these things done? How do you implement these things? What strategies you're going to employ? Where are we going to get the resources from? Who are the people who are going to help? How have you, have either of you been able to see a manifesto manifest in terms of even 50% of it? Because as I said, it's a lot. Yes. Have you been able to see at least 50% of it manifest with the hopes that perhaps they might be able to push and get a little bit more done?
I wouldn't say 50%, but a percentage of it.
A percentage of 50%?
Yes.
That's less than 50%.
Yes.
For
me, I think that's where the members of the media come in to really hold the political parties and the politicians accountable for the promises that they make in the manifesto, because the general public, they usually vote based on one or two issues, and a lot of the times those issues aren't really included in manifestos.
True.
So it's really up to us, the media, who really has access to these politicians and these political parties in a way that the man on the ground doesn't, to really keep them accountable and hold them accountable, not just before or after the term has ended, but during the term. Keep reminding them about the promises in the manifesto and ask them where the progress is. Have they started? Have they finished? Have they completed? How far along are they in the execution of their manifestos?
And also to ensure that we provide the general public with the details of the manifesto, because I feel as if not everybody kind of makes the effort to know what is in there. You might know the basic stuff like, you need to pay 41 roads, you need to do whatever. But in terms of the nitty-gritty of what is in there and how do I benefit as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and not only that, how can I be included in the manifesto promises? How can I participate? How can I, help? In my community, let's say you're talking about community projects, how do I fit into the grand scheme of things? How do generations coming up, So we kind of need to have those types of conversations where the general public is aware of what is happening and how they can play their role, and also hold them accountable. Because if you are telling me that tomorrow we paint in the tongue, I don't even want to choose a color. And when we come back next 5 years, it's not that color, or it's not that, we don't see that building, that empire in the middle of the city, then I feel as if it's a hoax. So we really have to hold persons accountable along the way. As you said, Akinlabi, as soon as you get into office, okay, what project we starting on now? Where do we go from here? And how do we ensure that, they remain accountable? And just yesterday I was thinking about, what are some of the things I would like to see coming out of an election? And they start off with implementation of policies that will govern decisions, that will govern actions, enforcement of the laws that you implement, the policies you implement, enforcement, adherence to, and accountability. Accountability for the things that you do, you promise, you say, and where do we go from here? How do we pick ourselves up and continue moving on to build a better space for all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Agreed.
Right. So, we're in the season, and so viewers, you can look forward to us having conversations about what is happening in the space in Trinidad and Tobago as we lead up to the general election, which takes place on the 28th of April. In case you're not aware, the 28th of April is election day, general election, and so we are seeing parties coming forward, sending off their candidates. So be in the know, stay in the loop, and the best place to get all the information is right here on Tobago Updates Television. So stay with us as we bring the information to you. Thank you so much, Bianna, for being on set with us this morning and bringing us the news in 90 seconds. Do have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And we started it big this morning. We started it real big, real big, real big. Drum roll. for my little brother, my brother in Christ, my friend, the man himself, Joel Positive Murray, hailing from John Dial, Tobago. Joel, big up on yourself. Happy birthday to you, coming to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television. Happy birthday from Victory Outreach Church. Happy birthday from all of us. We love you and we are so proud of you. Of course, putting Tobago on the map with your talent, with your gift, and so passionate about what you do. Happy birthday to you and all the blessings from the Almighty God for you in this new chapter of your life. Happy birthday to you.
We say happy birthday also to Lester Thomas, aka Picker. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Thomas. We know today is a special day. We wish you all God's richest blessings, family, friends, well-wishers. We wish that you get excellent birthday gifts today, amazing birthday gifts today, and you're just surrounded with love and goodness.
That's right, that's right. And also we want to say happy birthday to Kyle Joseph. Kyle Joseph is also celebrating a birthday today. And Kyle, we say happy birthday to you and we pray God's blessings upon your life. We do hope that you have a wonderful birthday today and that, of course, you experience all the goodness that comes with celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to Miss Marva Williams, looking very opulent in this white dress there in that picture. Happy birthday to you. We can see that you're a woman of elegance, and we wish you God's richest blessings on your special day. We pray that all that you plan for the next upcoming year, God will be in it and He will guide your steps and you will see success in everything that you do.
And I want to jump in on this birthday celebration. Happy birthday, Auntie Marva. Of course, God's richest blessings upon your life. Auntie Marva is a public servant who is so dedicated to her work. Auntie Marva always wearing a smile. There's no situation I've ever seen her in that causes her to be angry, and even if she's angry you wouldn't see it. Always pleasant, so very pleasant. And of course one of the Marcel sisters, so happy birthday to you. Much love Auntie Marva. I hope you're hearing this, and if you don't hear it, of course I'm gonna play it on the replay for you. So happy birthday. God's richest blessings upon your life as you continue to celebrate. And of course, if you do have a birthday and we do not have your photo, even if you're celebrating an anniversary, a retirement, a promotion, you bought a new car, a new house, your child is going off to university, a baby, whatever you are celebrating, of course, we take pleasure in joining the celebrations with you. And we remind you to put God first because He is the sole reason why there's even anything to celebrate. Kinlabi, who are we having conversations with this morning?
We're having conversations with Travis Gardner, who's a meteorologist, and he'll be talking about World Meteorological Day. Up next, we're going to have Anil Roberts, Member of Parliament, Anil Roberts, and he will be discussing the new Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson International Airport. And finally, we're going to have one Ms. Cherise Taylor, the founder of Association des Francophiles, talking about the Association des Francophiles.
Right. Well, interesting conversation this morning. So, of course, viewers, we do hope that you could stay with us as we go through the phases this morning as we bring the information to you. You want to be aware of what is happening, so do stay tuned with us. Whether you are viewing on our Facebook live stream, that is where we want you to leave your comments, or on our YouTube channel, or on AMPLIA 102 or Flow 121 or 130. This is your opportunity to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back. TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be from April 17th to 20th. The Rhythm, the Soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Consi. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. And we have in studio with us today Mr. Travis Gardner, a meteorologist, and he's coming to speak with us about World Meteorological Day. Good morning, Mr. Gardner.
Good morning to you and to all the viewers and listeners. Thanks for having me with you this morning.
Okay, so let's get right into the discussion. Just tell us, what exactly is World Meteorological Day?
Okay, so first of all, World Meteorological Day is very important in the meteorology community. It's a day we celebrate every year on March 23rd. So on March 23rd, 1950, the year being 1950, the World Meteorological Organization came into being or into force. Now, that is the body that governs meteorology all across the world. So obviously, every year we use that day to celebrate meteorology. We showcase, the importance of meteorology to society and the key role that we play in keeping persons safe, etc.
Okay, so you said that the key role that you play in keeping persons safe.
Yeah.
A lot of persons don't really know how important your job is to their safety or to the society. So could you just expand on that? Tell persons, why is meteorology so important?
Okay, no problem. So let's start on where the Met Service is located. So in Trinidad and Tobago, we have two branches of the Met Service. One branch is in Piaco and one branch is in Crown Point. Now, they are located at those locations because it's essential for the aviation sector. So the information that we provide is important to give the aircrafts or the pilots to fly in and out of the airports in Trinidad and Tobago. So one of our most important functions is making sure that the airport has the information they need, whether it's wind direction, wind speed, wind shear. Recently we have seen a lot of, aircrafts going down across the world, So here in Trinidad and Tobago, the Met Service is located at the airports to help provide information to the aviation sector. Apart from that, we provide information to the general public, whether it be issued early warnings, whether it be a hurricane approaching the island. We provide daily forecasts. We provide marine information as well. So we provide a lot of key information to try and keep the public and the population safe.
Yeah, so I was now going to touch on the issue of the importance of your work, particularly to persons who are fishermen.
Yes.
And sometimes they depend on the reports to know whether to go out to sea or not.
Yes. In fact, I know recently they had the fishermen who were out at sea missing, and some of their colleagues would have come to the office to try and help me. I help them, guide them in terms of what direction they can go to help search for their colleagues. So, but that's just like a one-off situation. We always tell them, before you go out to sea, we produce a forecast, a daily forecast. It's called a tourism forecast, and we have tidal information, we have sea conditions, whether it be the swells, the periods, the wave heights. We let them know when spring tides will be happening. So all the information they need is on our daily forecast that we provide. It goes out via email to stakeholders. It's available on our website. It's available on our mobile app. So all the information is there to try and guide the public as best as we possibly can.
Okay, and for World Meteorological Day this year, 2025, what kind of celebrations can we expect nationally in Tobago, that kind of thing?
Right. So like I said, we do this celebration every year. And what WMO, or the World Meteorological Organization, does, they usually give you a theme for each year. So the theme for this year's World Met Day is closing the early warning gap together. Right? So for this year's World Met Day, we're going to be right here at the Port Mall. We're going to be here tomorrow, Friday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to interact with the public. Because the theme for this year is closing the early warning gap together, we are one of the key stakeholders in terms of early warning here on the island of Tobago. But another key stakeholder is TEMA, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency. So we have invited them to come along with us. They will also bring CERT, which is another branch of their agency, because we want to show that we are closing the early warning gap together. So we thought it's important to bring them along. We will be here for the day. We're going to set up downstairs with our booths. We're going to have all the information you need. Myself, along with other staff from the Met Service, will be there to provide any information you need. If you want to get an early start on your preparedness for the hurricane season, come out, ask your questions, get your flyers, get your tokens. We're going to have like a game area set up where you can answer questions about meteorology. So you'll be learning along the way.
Prizes?
And we will have prizes, don't worry about it. And then TEMA will also be there. So they will have their small tokens as well. They will be there to give the public information from their end. What is the emergency numbers? Because they are the ones who respond after disaster. So you can get ready-made information from there, from the right source, right here at the Port Mall tomorrow. We'll be here from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. to interact with the public. Please come on down. We'll be here to support and to interact with you.
Okay, and is anything happening on the day itself, the 23rd itself, or no?
Well, usually we try to have the event on the 23rd itself because, like I said, that is the World Met Day. But because it falls on a Sunday, we thought we will get more interaction with the public if we keep it on the Friday.
Right.
So our event is basically going to be on the Friday. On the Sunday, we'll probably just put out a post advertising, we are celebrating World Met Day today, and we would have already done our part on the Friday. Obviously, we also have the second branch of the Met Service in Piaco. They might have something on the Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, and for any young child, any little boy or little girl who might be interested in becoming a meteorologist, what it is that they have, what is the qualifications, what do they have, how do they start preparing themselves to get into that field of work?
That's an excellent question, and that is one of the reasons we like going out to the public and doing stuff like we're going to be doing tomorrow, because meteorology is not a field that is so out there or persons are usually know about, right? So we use these opportunities. We like to have career fairs, etc., to go into the schools and teach the kids about meteorology. So I can tell you about the path I took. Thankfully, now you could just go to Barbados and pursue a degree in meteorology at the university in the Cavell University collaboration with the Caribbean Meteorology and Hydrology School. So I would tell those kids, don't make the mistake I make, right? Make sure you are strong in your maths and physics. I fell in love with meteorology because I love geography.
Right.
And while geography is fun, you get to learn about rocks and the environment. Meteorology is basically taking maths and physics and explaining what is happening in the atmosphere. So if you have a strong maths and physics background, when you go to university and you have to do calculus and dynamic meteorology and those hard subject areas, you'll have a jump start.
Right.
So focus on your maths, your physics, go to A-levels, do the same thing, maths and physics, enjoy your geography. And you could always come and interact with us at the Med Service. You could come and ask questions. When we have career fairs and we have events like tomorrow, come and interact with us, ask questions. We are there to help guide you, and we will make sure and put you on the right path.
One of the questions persons might ask themselves about a career in meteorology is whether there is space for growth and upward mobility within the discipline.
Okay, well, I could speak on the island here in Tobago. Our Med Service has been growing over the years. In fact, we are under the Office of the Prime Minister, OPM CAS. Recently, the Med Service was, they upgraded the service basically. They added up new positions, so anybody graduating with a degree in meteorology, you can look forward to more positions being available. And I always tell persons, as I've mentioned, go in and get a degree. The reality is, with the world of work, if the opportunity is not available here, you have a degree, you could always go abroad, whether it be regionally or internationally, and work. I have colleagues who are working in Bermuda, who are working across the region, working in the United States, working in London. Once you study, you have your qualifications, the opportunities are endless. You can go anywhere right here in the Caribbean, in Barbados, you get your qualifications, and you're qualified to work anywhere across the world.
Okay, well, Mr. Gardner, just giving one last plug for the World Meteorological Day before we go.
Okay, so again, I just want to reiterate, we'll be at the Portmore right here tomorrow. Come out, interact with us, get an early start on your preparedness for the hurricane season. We will have information available for you. We'll have our colleagues from TEMA available there as well. Come out and participate in the events, participate in the games, win prizes, win tokens. It's going to be a fun day. We are inviting everyone on the island to come out and be a part of the event with us tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much. That was Mr. Travis Gardner coming to speak to us about World Meteorological Day. So we're going to take a break. We'll have some advertisements, take a break, and we'll be right back. And when we return, we will be speaking with Mr. Anil Roberts, and he wants to talk about the new ANR Robinson International Airport. But do us a favor, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after these messages.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be. From April 17th to 20th, the rhythm, the soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
the game is on. You don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we have on the phone line with us now Mr. Anna Roberts, Member of Parliament, Mr. Anna Roberts, and he wants to speak to us about the opening ceremony of the Arthur Napoleon Raymond Robinson International Airport that took place on Saturday, last Saturday. Good morning, Mr. Roberts, and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you very much, and good morning to the beautiful island of Tobago. How are you?
I'm quite fine. I'm seeing that you're looking very comfortable in your kitchen there.
For now, as soon as I finish here, it's peace. As you know, the election has been called, so we have to work hard. We have to spread the message and say what we will do when we win across in Trinidad and throughout Tobago to remove the evil PNM, because we cannot continue like this. You called me, they called me. Now you must understand, I try my best to stay out of Tobago business. Now I must state I am half Tobagonian. My father is Al Roberts, Tobagonian. My grandfather is Luther Roberts, Principal Roberts, Tobagonian. My grandmother is Tobagonian. However, we believe in the United National Congress and Kamla Prasad Visesa that Tobago requires autonomy and self-governance, that Tobagonians know what's best for Tobago. And when what best happens to Tobago, Trinidad will benefit, and the unitary state of Trinidad and Tobago will unite. You hear the PNM people saying about the UNC disrespects Tobago by not putting candidates. That is abject total nonsense. It is absolutely the opposite, because Trinidad should not form policy for Tobago. Tobagonians live, breathe, and know what they need in Tobago, how to enhance their culture, their revenue, their economy, and the Chief Secretary and the Tobago House of Assembly should have greater power. So when I saw the abject total disrespect that occurred on Tobago soil for a so-called airport terminal that is due to support and give opportunities for Tobagonians on Tobago soil, to give Tobagonians jobs, to bring people, to increase tourism. And I saw the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly be ignored and not put on a program to speak in the island in which he is duly elected by the people of Tobago to represent them. That was tantamount to bullying. It was inappropriate. It was disrespectful. It showed that the PNM does not believe that Tobago is our equal partner, that Tobagonians should determine their own pathway, that they should be given greater power to make decisions to protect themselves on national security, the economy, and decisions that affect Tobagonians. To invite a Chief Secretary, to put him to sit down there with other secretaries and to talk down to him from a bully pulpit was disgraceful. It lacked deportment, it lacked courtesy, and these are tenets and factors that are huge in Tobago culture. Discipline, respect for elders, courtesy, all of these things were non-existent in that fake opening of a building which is not ready to receive passengers.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, we know all the things that happened, all the controversy that happened over the weekend. But you know, there may have been some mitigating factors that may have led to whatever mix-up they may have had in the programming and the protocol. But we have a problem in Trinidad and Tobago, whereas when you have different parties in the THA, running the THA that is running the central government, we always have this clash and this conflict. We saw it under when Mr. London, the PNM, was in power in Tobago and the People's Partnership was in power in Trinidad in the central government. We also had these clashes and arguments about protocol and disrespect, and it always raises its
Name one
head.
time. Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. When you're talking to Anil, you gotta come with facts. Name one time there was any issue with protocol regarding Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the Honorable Chief Secretary of London. Name one time.
No, what I'm talking about in terms of
no, sir. You said, so please.
Mr. Roberts,
I want to treat you with love. I want to treat you with love and respect.
Yes.
You made a statement.
I'm giving you the example. I'm going to give you the example.
Okay, give me the example.
I'm saying it may not necessarily be Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the Prime Minister herself, but there would have been instances where the Tobago House of Assembly, under the leadership of Mr. Orville London, would have complained about disrespect and breaches of protocol and so, particularly in their interactions with the Ministry of Tobago Development in the past. What I'm saying to you now,
with all due respect,
hold on. What I'm saying now,
hold on, sir.
Mr. Roberts, hold on. Mr. Roberts, hold on.
Hold on, sir. You are talking.
I want to pose a question.
Please.
I want to pose a question.
No, wait,
My
I will answer your
question
question.
to you.
Let me answer the question, sir. Because with all due respect, my learned colleague, not comparing apples and apples. You are comparing apples with oranges. If there was a political dispute or disagreement between a ministry and the PNM in charge of Tobago, that's issues, that's discussion of policy. What we are discussing here is disrespect from the office of the Prime Minister to the Chief Secretary of Tobago. And I put it to you, my honorable colleague, that Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, never, ever disrespected the Honorable Orville London Chief Secretary. No function, no time, no protocol, no mistake. It was respected. He was given his position of priority, allowed to speak to his heart's content, and it never occurred. So you cannot compare a disagreement in policy between a Tobago, a Ministry of Tobago Development, with a Prime Minister and a PNM government coming to open an airport, a huge expense, overruns, and putting a Chief Secretary, inviting him, leaving him off the program. It's not a mistake. What sort of thing? If that's a mistake, then the whole PNM should resign and come out. You cannot disrespect the Tobago House of Assembly and the Chief Secretary like that. In the biggest opening and the biggest fanfare, going out to the world, there is no comparison, my honorable colleague.
Okay, so Mr. Roberts, okay, you're saying there is no comparison. So are you making some sort of call to action for the people of Tobago to respond to the so-called disrespect by the central government?
Well, it's not so-called. You see, disrespect is a very simple thing. Look, I'm on your show. I'm treating you with respect. We could disagree. You can make a point. I can make a point. But I treat you with respect. Respect is not something that is up for subjectivity. It is disrespectful to come to Tobago to open an airport for Tobagonians, built for Tobagonians, to be run by Tobagonians, to employ Tobagonians, and leave the highest representative of Tobagonians to sit down and not be on a program. That is not so-called. That is disrespectful. That is dishonorable. That is a stain on every citizen of Tobago, done by a man who says he's Tobagonian, and then he uses a bully pulpit to discuss Tobago business as he's on his way out, to tell them and instruct them who to give Tobago's assets, Tobago land to. Let me move on to that point. For Keith Rowley to say that he spoke to Adam Stewart of Sandals, and that Farley Augustine and the Secretary of Tourism and so on must get to with Sandals and get to the table and negotiate, is abject total nonsense. That's not how procurement works. That's not how you get the best deal for Tobago. If the Chief Secretary and the THA decide that there is land available in Tobago for investment, then they will decide where's the land, how much land, and request from international corporations a request for proposals. Let all the major corporations of the world who are involved in the hospitality industry bid, give proposals. The THA's evaluation committee would evaluate all proposals and choose what's best for Tobago. It is not incumbent upon an outgoing PNM Trinidad Prime Minister to instruct the Chief Secretary on what he must do because Rowley played golf with Adam Stewart. That is corrupt to the core, and that is not the process.
You spoke about Tobagonians being disrespected with the protocols of the opening ceremony. Some Tobagonians have absolutely no problem with the manner in which the outgoing Prime Minister would have dealt with the Chief Secretary, because they felt as if the Chief Secretary has been, throughout his tenure, being very disrespectful towards the Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, and they sort of see it as evening off the scores.
Well, that's an interesting position. Let me tell you, if I'm in the studio there and you cuff me in my face, if I return a punch, am I wrong or am I defending myself? Keith Christopher Rowley, as a Prime Minister, waged war on Farley Augustine Chief Secretary and the party that won. From his first statement, he said to the people of Tobago, and he went on to persecute Tobagonians. Keith Rowley tried to steal an election by instructing the EBC, which is closely affiliated to the PNM, to change and gerrymander boundaries in Tobago to move from 12 districts into 15. So the disrespect came first. The first punch, the draw first blood, the disrespect came from Keith Rowley. So if the Chief Secretary defends himself, anyone who thinks that someone defending themselves is wrong is either warped or does not understand propriety and proper conduct. The Chief Secretary has won. Rowley's pain and tobacco that PNM lost has been dealt with in an immature manner. He has not come to the table to teach and to treat with the Chief Secretary with respect and honor. And anyone who thinks that disrespect is okay, some of them, and they need to go back and talk to their parents because they weren't taught very well. Disrespect must never be accepted. Tobago is too important. The autonomy bill, when you talk about autonomy of Tobago, when you look at the recent bid rounds for oil and gas, I was aghast to see that all the blocks happen to be in Tobago waters. I always couldn't understand why the PNM wants to keep Tobago under the thumb. Why they want to oppress Tobagonians. Why do I see Trinidadians or even Tobagonians, once they join the PNM, they go in the Senate and the Parliament and they talk about PNM policy over and above the moving forward of Tobago. I could never understand it. But recently, they showed after the Dragon gas deal, which Keith Rowley put all his eggs in one basket. After that flopped with the advent of Donald Trump winning USA president. When I saw that they're running for bid rounds now, my simple eyes could see that most of those blocks that are out for bid to the international upstreamers are in Tobago waters. It belongs to Tobago. And then I understood why the PNM wants to oppress and suppress Tobago, because they don't want to give Tobago the fair shake. We believe that Tobago must have the fair shake. Tobago is an equal partner. And if Tobago have to take care of Trinidad, so be it, because we are a unitary state and we must operate in a climate of love, respect, and togetherness.
Okay, Mr. Roberts. How do we get past the politics of separate parties running the THA to the central government? How do we get past the politics of of those things and get to the real issues of governing properly, governing Tobago properly, governing Trinidad and Tobago properly, and each person
That's a
respecting each other's
fantastic
boundaries?
question. That's a fantastic question. You look like a young man. So you would have known that since 2001 to about 2023, Tobago was run by PNM, and most of that time, Trinidad was run by PNM. And Tobago did not get its just desserts. It did not get what it even deserved. It did not reach autonomy. They didn't bring bills in. When Kamala Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister and she brought a bill to begin the process of autonomy for Tobago, Keith Christopher Rowley came up as the leader of the opposition and rejected it out of hand using some stale arguments that thwarted the bill because it needed a special majority. So the only thing, as you have put it, that has hampered Tobago's development, Tobago's autonomy, is the PNM. So the answer is simple. Vote out the PNM in Tobago as has happened. So keep that status quo, and then vote a Prime Minister in Trinidad who believes in the autonomy of Tobago, who respects the Chief Secretary of Tobago, whoever he or she may be, that respects the Tobago House of Assembly and respects Tobago's right to chart its own course, whether in oil and gas, in tourism, in education, in development, in safety and security. Kamala Persad-Bissessar believes in that, and it's very easy. A synergy can be made once there is respect. Keith Rowley and the PNM does not respect Tobago. It was shown recently, and it has been shown for the last 23 years.
So, Roberts, tell us, what will the UNC, if they get into power in the central government, do differently to enable Tobago's autonomy? And you raise the issue of the oil and gas fields being auctioned off. And that has been a contentious issue in Tobago for a long time, that we don't get enough revenues from the oil and gas, and that we've been contributing to this nation's oil and gas wealth, and we don't get to see the returns on that. What will the UNC do differently to address those burning issues that Tobagonians have?
That's a brilliant question. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is different. She begins differently. She respects Tobago's autonomy. She will respect the electorate, and the voice of the people in Tobago is the voice of God. So therefore, suggestions and a lot of work has been done with Tobago Autonomy Bill. Now, the election, it depends on what sort of majority Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the UNC gets, because we're going to have to change the constitution. It's going to need a special majority, and the PNM does not want Tobago to get autonomy. But the first thing is that Kamala Persad-Bissessar has been and will continue to listen and take advice from the Chief Secretary and the Tobago House of Assembly on what Tobago needs. She gives that full respect, and she will do whatever in her power in the Parliament of Trinidad to move Tobago's agenda forward. It will be a relationship of mutual respect, understanding, and based on science. Anyone can see, as David Lee, Member of Parliament, who is our shadow Minister of Energy and so on, has stated, that all of those blocks that are now under bid, Tobago has claim for them. And if that is logical, if that is clear, if it is scientific, and if you could take a measuring tape and measure it, then it belongs to Tobago. So give Tobago what belongs to Tobago. It is very simple. Only an oppressor, only a dictator, only someone who seeks and covets control would oppress Tobago. And that's what Rowley and the PNM and Stuart Young have done and will continue to do. So dialogue, listening, moving forward, changing the laws, giving Tobago what it deserves.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Roberts, and it's so good to have you on this morning. And we thank you for calling in and having this chat with us. You know, you're always so passionate when you start to speak about the matters that affect Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, my brother, and it's good to see a young person deeply involved in the issues of Tobago and Trinidad. I just tell you, keep reading, keep getting facts, because you have an awesome responsibility. The people are listening to you. You can shape their minds and their perception. So when we have that, remember, I used to be on TV and radio, and I thought I had to get smarter and brighter, because when I open my mouth, I must speak from a position of fact. So you are doing a great job. God bless. And Tobago, we love you. Do what you have to do. but respect due. All
Okay, Mr. Roberts, thank you. Have a good day. So,
same to you. God bless.
Listeners, you heard it yourself from Mr. Roberts. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have conversations with Ms. Sharice Taylor, the founder of the association, the Francophile. So right after this break, we'll come back with that interview. Do us a favor in the meantime, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago, so it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and we have in studio with us Ms. Sharice Taylor, the founder of the association, the Francophile. But before we get into the conversation with her, we want to go to our photo of the day. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's our photo of the day. Please send in your messages to our Facebook or YouTube live chats and tell us where you think this photo of the day is. All right, so we have in studio with us today Ms. Sharice Taylor, again, the founder of the association, the Francophile. Good morning, Ms. Taylor.
Good morning, and I would correct you a bit there, but I excuse you because you're probably not a French speaker, but it's Association des Francophiles.
Association des Francophiles.
Also known by, or easier known by, ASDEF.
Okay, ASDEF.
That's right.
Okay, and just tell us about the association.
Sure. So it's Association des Francophiles. It's a non-profit organization I created to encourage Tobagonians and to give them a platform to engage with French language and culture in Tobago.
Okay, and tell us why you felt the need to really, what spurred this idea to form this organization?
So firstly, today is French Language Day. That's recognized officially by the United Nations, since French is one of their official languages. But March is also the month of the Francophonie, and it's a period of celebrating French language and culture. So a bit of my history. I won a national open scholarship in 2019. I was the sole Tobagonian to win an open scholarship. And I also topped the region in both French and Spanish in 2019. I absolutely love foreign languages. And given my experience, for example, I got my degree abroad, I'm back in Tobago. I know my experience, how difficult it was engaging with French language in Tobago. So I created the organization to bridge the gap and, of course, to give back to my community and to encourage persons who would like to get involved with French and to give them that platform to engage with it outside of the classroom and socially.
And you said today is French Language Day?
That's right. Today is French Language Day, so we recognize the French language, the richness of its culture.
And to commemorate this day, what would your association, ASDEF, be doing to commemorate the day?
That's a great question. So the first step is that I am here today. So it's recently founded, and I am here to let the lovely people of Tobago know that the organization exists. It's non-profit, which means that everybody has access. There's no age requirement, no proficiency requirement. Everyone, as long as they're interested and able to come to our sessions, are welcome to come to learn French, to meet new people, and, well, to practice those French skills, to communicate, to practically communicate in French.
Okay, and tell us when and where those sessions will be taking place. I don't know if you have that information as yet.
So, given that we are newly founded, that information is still to come. I'm already planning sessions, given that persons have indicated their interest. But for those who are interested in joining us, they should reach out to me either through email. The association's email was posted on the flyer. It's asdef.tt.co@gmail.com. They can follow us on Instagram at asdef.tt. Or for those who are not as technologically inclined or not as active on social media, they can contact me personally at 492-8744 to either give me a call or send me a message to let me know that they're interested, and I can get back to them.
Okay, so you stated that you're a lover of foreign languages.
That's right.
I don't know if you speak any other foreign languages.
Mais bien sûr. I have officially studied both French and Spanish. I have an honors Bachelor of Arts from the University of Toronto. I graduated with high distinction in both French and Spanish, and I won the award for the graduating student with the highest performance in modern languages. But perhaps we can talk more about the benefits of coming to ASTEF, or the benefits of studying or speaking French on the island.
Yeah, so I was coming to that next step. If you will, study multiple languages, and you realize you have a bit of a focus on French.
That's right.
And I wanted to know, like you said, what do you see as whether there's the gap or the missed potential of learning French that the Tobagonians are missing that really drove you to start this organization?
Very well. So I would say that I studied French almost in a silo at high school. And the aim of the organization is really to give persons who perhaps are studying French right now, or who had studied French at one point in time, and of course those who are interested, to really see the relevance of the language outside of the classroom, outside of the educational system. For example, if we look at our tourism development, I have first-hand experience with the fact that there are French tourists coming to Tobago, whether it's via cruise ship or via plane, and I've witnessed the sheer excitement on their face is when they're able to speak with me in French and recognize, okay, this person speaks French, whether it's to clarify a misunderstanding or to get some additional information. So imagine the potential that Tobago could have in its tourism sector if, for example, the tour operators are able to conduct tours in French, or the hoteliers are able to engage in French with persons who come to Tobago. It would certainly increase our attractivity as an island.
Yeah, because I know just the Sunday before Carnival, there was a cruise ship that came in from, I believe it was Guadeloupe or Martinique, one of the French islands. And they had a sort of carnival trip around Scarborough for them. And I was thinking in my head, what would have really enhanced this experience for them was if the DJ or the announcer could have just communicated with them in French. It would have really heightened that experience for them. But you spoke about the benefits that you can have in terms of tourism, but in terms of the benefits for persons outside of Tobago, outside of Tobago, getting that connectivity and becoming more marketable to the world and opening borders and boundaries that they may not have expected. Can you speak to how learning French opens them up to the rest of the world?
Sure. Of course, French is a skill, and that skill can make you more marketable professionally. Of course, you can gain new personal connections because you gain access to persons in other parts of the world that speak French. But I would really want to hone in on, well, perhaps we can talk about the fact that Caribbean Airlines has initiated flights to, for example, Martinique and Guadeloupe.
Yes.
You know, these countries are right there. ASTEF would also offer opportunities for cultural exchange, both regionally and internationally, as I'm willing to leverage my network so that persons in Tobago can connect with French speakers abroad. But I'd mentioned that learning a foreign language makes you a global thinker. It makes you open-minded.
Right.
And I'm starting to smile because I'm going to give you a prime example of how, for example, learning French can make us a more tolerant society. So there's this word that exists, the word is gosse. And in French from France, gosse means kids or children.
Yes.
But in the variety of French from Quebec, gosse means testicles. So in a situation like this, it's the same word, the same pronunciation, but different meanings based on the context and where you're coming from. So in this case, with that word, you see that persons can have different perspectives, and it's not going to be about who is right or who's wrong. Both perspectives, even though they are different, can exist at the same time. And that can encourage persons to accept differences in opinions and still live in harmony.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Just for one last time, just plug in your information, tell persons about your organization, plug in your information so that they can get in contact with you.
That's right. So they can find ASTEF on Instagram at astef.tt. They can reach out to us by email at astef.tt.co@gmail.com, or they can contact me at 492-8744.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Sharice Taylor, for coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program this morning, but before we go, and let me give you some information on that photo of the day. The photo of the day was taken by Miss Celeste Hart and is a photo of swallows. It's a photo of swallows. So that's it. You have it for a photo of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening in with us this morning. And as we go, we don't want you to leave us just yet. We have coming up GMT next. So do us a favor. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Thank you for staying with us. See you tomorrow.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago. broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
I think with this facility having been down for about 10 years or somewhere thereabout, I think it's an excellent initiative and that it was recommissioned. I was talking to one of the other educators here and he said that it was a very good program for the students, especially at the CSEC level. So I think it's an excellent initiative and I'm very proud of the present administration for working so feverishly and assiduously to get it back up and running.
Yes, I am very excited about the reopen of the Kendall Aquatic Facility. I hope to come and learn to swim properly.
I'm very excited about the reopening and I hope to come and take swimming lessons.
The problem we had was that the leak, the facility had a leak and caused the major shutdown. So now that it is back, all the programs you see happening in the west will be in the east and even more, because while it was down, we were planning how we're going to do a lot of things. So what you see down in the west will be up in the east.
I'm challenging you all for us to work with agencies such as the YMCA in having an even more robust and inclusive program so that we can ensure by a defined date all of Tobago's students and young people can actually swim. You should not live on an island and not be able to swim. And with what we are seeing in terms of climate changes, what we are seeing in terms of the battle with the sea on our coasts, all of our young people from as early as possible should learn to swim.
This pool belongs to you. It is a space for your families to bond, for your communities to gather, and for individuals to focus on their health and wellness. Whether it's a child learning to swim for the very first time, an athlete training for the next level of competition, or a senior enjoying low-impact exercise, this facility caters for everyone.
Was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning, rise up.
morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have, but I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The innovative Democratic Alliance political leader, Denise Sawyer-Angus, criticized the election timing, citing economic struggles and unsolved back pay. She accused the government of using recent billion-dollar projects like a hotel block and airport terminal to mislead voters to gain political mileage. She questioned whether the ruling PNM party would be rewarded despite alleged public funds misuse. Denise Sawyer-Angus affirmed the IDA's readiness for elections and announced plans to introduce candidates on March 25th. She argued the voters would head to the polls distracted from the government's poor performance. Additionally, former PSA President Watson Duke plans to take his legal battle to the Privy Council after repeated failures to secure pension payment from the union. His attorneys have applied for constitutional leave to challenge the appeal court's ruling upholding Justice Marissa Robertson's decision to discharge an injunction. Duke sued the PSA on June 2024, claiming it breached his contract by withholding his pension after his 2021 resignation. The court found the PSA could suffer financial harm if forced to pay. The pre-trial hearing is set for November 13th, but no trial date is scheduled. And finally, the Patriotic Front has unveiled 14 prospective candidates as they gear up to contest all 41 constituencies in the upcoming general election. Political leader of the Patriotic Front, Michaela Pandey, reaffirms the party's dedication to offering voters an alternative to the dominant political parties. She acknowledged the party's financial limitations but emphasized its other strengths. The remaining 27 candidates, including Pandey's own constituencies, will be announced soon. Additionally, the Patriotic Front plans to release its manifesto detailing its vision and policies for the country. And that was our news in 90 seconds. Guys, this morning we have a number of truly interesting topics to cover. But before we get into that, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. As promised this morning, we continue with our conversations, and you already know we are in the full swing of the general election season. Now this morning I have the privilege of sitting and chatting virtually with Gary Griffith, political leader of the NTA. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you and good morning Tobago.
Good morning. So again, you are stating that the NTA is ready for this general election. Can you tell us how many candidates have been fielded? Are you still going through that process? Would you be announcing all your candidates soon?
Yeah, definitely. The only hold up is because we have formed a strategic alliance with other political parties. So we're just having meetings with them on Saturday just to verify the final numbers. The NTA, we have virtually completed ours. We have already announced most of our candidates, and there's about 2 or 3 more we need to announce probably early next week. So we'll be going up for seats in Diego Martin West, Diego Martin Central, Port of Spain South, St. Joseph, of which that seat I would be a candidate for, Tulapuna, Aruca, Lupino, Rima, La Joquita, Talparo, Toco Sangre Grande, Chaguanas East, San Fernando West, and Point Fortin. So it is just about 13 or 14. We have other entities on political parties such as Hope and CRN. They most probably will be going up for 2 or 3 other seats. So in all, with this alliance, this People's Alliance, there should be about 17 odd seats we will be contesting.
Right. And even before the election was announced, you have already been on the ground talking with the constituents in the different areas. What type of feedback are you getting as it pertains to persons being ready to choose a political alternative from the 2 main parties in the country?
You know, since I got into politics like 2007, every single general election is the mother of all elections. It's always the same thing, it's the mother of all elections. I think the country cannot wait to exhale come April the 29th, when we could just get over it, move on, have one prime minister, one government, and get over all of the nonsense that we have seen and heard for the last year or so prior to the run-up to this general election. People are frustrated. They are disappointed. There are 2 major political parties. I think this is the first time there's so much disenchantment on either side. When you hear people trying to say that, what we're hearing a lot of is which must we select, the lesser of 2 evils. And that is unfortunate. What we are doing is giving the country for the first time in 18 years a third choice, which the last time they had a legitimate third choice would have been in 2007 with the Congress of the People, of which I was a part of. And that 148,000, those persons who are still around, it's the first time in 18 years they will have a third choice in a general election. All persons between the age of 18 to 36. It's the first time in their life that they will be able to vote with an option of a third choice, because there's going to be, and we have to accept it. The PNM and the UNC, you will always have 150, 200,000 a PNM till I die on a border UNC and a get a UNC. And that is their right. That is how you live your life. You don't care if it affects your family, if your daughter could be raped, if your wife could be kidnapped, if your son can be killed. That doesn't matter. As a PNM or a UNC till I die. That is all that's important. Forget about if it affects the economy, if it affects health, education, if it affects my security. As a PNM and UNC till I dead. And that is the right of that 300, 400,000. Thankfully, there are 150,000 plus who look at policies, programs, and that is what we are doing. People are fed up of the backbiting, the name calling, the gutter politics. I mean, the UNC itself, they have contracted someone that every single time he goes on a platform or on a video, his political headquarters is in his car. That's Philip Alexander. It's always to attack, to destroy, to discredit, to bad talk. People are fed up of that type of politics, and we welcome and we are glad that Philip Alexander has joined the UNC because it has turned off tens and tens of thousands of persons. They're fed up of that politics. So what we're hearing on the ground, people want to hear, what can you provide? What can you deliver? What are your options? Why should we select you instead of someone else?
Totally understood. And you, during our last conversation, we were talking about some of the collaborations that you would be doing for this election. Are there any Tobago political entities that you would be collaborating with as it pertains to this coalition that you have created?
Yes, definitely there'll be collaboration after April 28th. Whoever is the will be winning those 2 seats for Tobago. It is very unfortunate that the NTA have not established ourselves to the point that we could have gone into Tobago. It is mind-boggling that the UNC, for example, calls themselves a national political party, but they say they stay out of Tobago to let Tobagonians decide who Tobago should vote for. So is Tobago part of Trinidad and Tobago? The comment by that lady shows her ignorance in understanding national unity. But the reason she does that is in the hope that if it is that another party could win those seats away from the PNM, then I could join with them. And all that she has done is probably diminish the possibility of Fali Augustine actually winning any of those seats, because it basically said, I do not want to go to Tobago to split the votes, which is 2 words used by the UNC that they alone understand in the vocabulary of the UNC. So by doing that, you do not understand the importance of Tobago. The NTA would love to have been part of getting into the election in Tobago, but because it being a virtually new party, it would take time. I think the only time the UNC understood the importance of national unity was when Basdio Pandey was political leader, and he actually took part in the election. So we understand the significance and the importance of Tobago. We are not there because we don't want to split the votes for PNM to win, foolishly stated by the UNC. What is that we did not have the capability and readiness to take part in the election in Tobago. I think Tobago will have a very big part to play in the decision-making process, just like the NTA, because even though you have 2 established parties, if, for example, PNM, they lose 1 or 2 of those seats in Tobago, and say, for example, I win St. Joseph, we can become now the persons that can be the individuals to decide the government, and we definitely would be part of the next government.
Totally understood. Now, how are you doing? We know that your family is going through a rough period right now with your wife and, everything that's happening there. How are you able to balance being that core support system for her during this time while also trying to manage this political party and this election that's happening in some near weeks?
Well, when I was Commissioner of Police, I was working 20 hours a day trying to keep the country safe and secure. When I was Minister of National Security, same thing. When I was in Haiti with the United Nations, this has been probably the most difficult time in my life, where it is that I have to divide myself into different parts and places because of the situation of my family, the needs for my family, and also to be a political leader for a general election. Thankfully, my wife is she's really a commando. As much as she went through brain surgery, took out a tumor, and she is still alive, up and kicking, ready to rock and roll, as much as we are trying to lock her down for her to have bed rest, because she was virtually the catalyst for the NT in the local government election. She was campaign manager, she was CEO, organizer, general manager. She ran the ship, and that is what played a very big part to the NTA, acquiring 16,000 votes and going into the 31 hardest PNM seats and cutting the PNM's lead in those seats that in the end UNC never won, from 35 to almost 92%. And that showed the importance because it showed what the NTA stood for. And thankfully, Nicole was there to guide us there. We have to focus as well of her health and well-being, whilst at the same time, I'm trying my best to deal with the election. I wish to thank Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of political affiliation, the number of messages that came to us from persons, even from other political parties. I mean, I've still been receiving messages from the previous, previous Prime Minister, the present Prime Minister, about 17 other cabinet ministers sending their well wishes, which augurs well for Trinidad and Tobago. It shows that we may not be friends, but we are not enemies. Unfortunately, Nicole was a senator in another political party in our government, and up to now, that person who was Prime Minister never had the courtesy, the humanity to even send a message. But it says a lot about the individual, and the rest of the UNC have done it likewise. But that's right. If that is their style, that if you don't have a party card similar to them, if Nicole had a different surname or she lived in a different part of Trinidad, Kamala would have contacted her. But that is the UNC style. My job is to focus on the NTA and my family.
Totally understood. And we here at Tobago Updates, we send our well wishes to Nicole and to your family. And she had an interview here, I think it was a couple months ago with my colleague. And so we hope to have her back soon when she's up and kicking again, and that she can contribute to the success of that campaign. Now, we've seen a quick turn of events as we have transitioned from one prime minister to another. On Tuesday, we saw the swearing in of Stuart Young as the new prime minister and a number of other cabinet ministers with a shift. We saw that Camille Robinson Regis is now the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. Do you have any views or comments on this?
Yeah, well, I personally believe that we have three major political leaders and people need to select who you think will be best suited to assist in guiding the country for the next 5 years between Prime Minister Stuart Young, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, and Gary Griffith. You need to make the decision. What Stuart Young has done, as much as I wish him well, and same with Kamala Persad-Bissessar, I have the world of respect for both individuals and their political parties. I am not going to go down the gutter to cast any negative aspersions on individuals, which is what some parties are doing. I believe that most of the politicians and the candidates on both sides have some degree of capability to assist in the development of Trinidad and Tobago. It's just that I am trying to show that we have the best. We have the best people, the personalities, the programs, the policies, and the political will. What the PNM have done in their cabinet reshuffle has not been a reshuffle to assist in the development of Trinidad and Tobago. It has been a reshuffle. It was a politically arranged reshuffle for the political campaign rather than for good governance. And it is expected. The focus of the PNM right now will not be about developing Trinidad and Tobago. There's very little that persons can do in the next month if it is that you get a new portfolio. So what Stuart Young has done is to remove the fact. I think he looked at all of the negatives of the PNM. Keith Rowley was one, possibly in the eyes of the public. He removed himself. Reginald Amora was seen as probably the most incompetent Attorney General ever. He was removed. Fitzgerald Hines, undoubtedly the most incompetent politician in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. He was removed. Colin Imbert showed that he missed Form 3 and Form 4 basic accountants in school, but yet he was Minister of Finance. So removing Amora, Imbert, and Hines from critical positions and putting other persons there, that is more of a strategic arrangement to assist in the political campaign than putting persons in cabinet horses for courses for good governance. Camille Robinson Regis, for example, may definitely not be seen as the best person to be an Attorney General, but because of her style and her charisma on a political platform, holding that post as an Attorney General on a political platform is going to be very powerful to assist the PNM in the campaign. So it was really a campaign-selected cabinet reshuffle rather than one done towards ensuring good governance.
Excellent. And even as it pertains to your strategy going into this new election now, we're not asking you to let out any secrets, but we know that a number of the smaller political entities, just as Michaela Pandey indicated, struggle with finances and the resources needed to run a campaign on the level of the major political entities. And there have been calls to create policies that balance the scale. How are you approaching that challenge?
Well, the PNM and UNC, their budget usually is about $150 million for a general election. Yeah, $150 million. And how that works is because financiers realize, look, I'm going to put $20 million on PNM, $20 million on UNC. Whoever wins, I'm going to get a $100 million a month contract. Why go to Las Vegas, where it is you could gamble on both sides and you're still going to win for sure? And then half of that probably stays in the coffers or the back pockets of the politicians. The other half goes towards massive advertisement, bringing in all type of different entertainers, massive crowds, paying people $200 to attend political meetings and then give them a jersey and a roti and doubles. That is the concept of our banana republic politics in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't think it works. I think, thankfully, because of social media, we have about 4 pages alone that as soon as we press send, it gets out to over 400,000 persons. So we are getting our message across. And what we are focusing on is not as I said, the 300, 400,000 PNM or UNC till they die, but that 150,000 plus of those individuals who are looking at plans, policies, and saying, listen, who may be best suited to provide me with my needs and services for the next 5 years? It is without question, it can't be debated that the NT has the best option, you're the best option to make you safer. But the NT is much more than just national security. Whereas we have individuals, apart from myself, Commander Norman Dindial, a senior person from the Coast Guard, Captain Mark Jardine, a very senior person previously from the Air Guard, Paul Nahus, probably one of the best firearm experts in the country, Major Dirk Barnes, retired. Who we have, when you look at other political parties, what you're going to get, for example, the UNC roughly, you get that, you're going to get Kamala's chair of the National Security Council, if you're lucky if she turns up. You're going to get Philip Alexander as your Minister of National Security. Rishmi Ramnarayan might probably come back as the director of the SSA. Johnny Abraham will come in his Panama hat as the Commissioner of Police. And Wayne Sturge, who has been instrumental as an excellent attorney to ensure that when I was Commissioner and we will arrest and charge persons, he will be able to get them released immediately and back out onto the streets. You need to decide if that is what you want when you go for it, brother. But we are much more than that. The same way we have transformed national security, we have shown that we have the capability to transform health, education, the economy, tourism, sport, culture, youth affairs, through principles of leadership, accountability, good management, and measurement of performance. The same way I was able to transform the police service within a year, we can transform every arm of the public sector through those 4 principles.
Excellent. And is there anything that you want to say to our viewers watching this morning before we wrap up as it pertains to giving their support to you and your organization for this general election?
Yeah, definitely. This is much more than the NT. I am not here to utilize my time asking people to vote for Gary Griffith and the NT. I want to use my time to try to unite Trinidad and Tobago. Whereas other political parties have hired, as I said, others to say the NAS. When you hire someone to say that because a member of parliament burnt in a fire, all the rest of them in that party should also burn, calling people canal conks and latrine rats. Why would you vote for people like that? Because when they get in government, they will destroy the country. So my job is to, as much as possible during the next month or so, I ask the country, do not cause yourself to be fooled or influenced, to be divided and be involved in the hate and bitterness of, because I'm yellow, I hate red and vice versa. We are all citizens of a very great country. Do not let politicians divide us. We may be political opponents, we are not enemies. There is going to be a day called April 29th, and we will all be citizens of this great country with one prime minister, one government, one common goal, and one mission to make this a better country. So let us enjoy this campaign, and listen, understand, and select wisely, but do not turn your fellow citizens of Trinidad and Tobago into enemies.
Thank you so much. I'm glad that you brought that up to ensure that we remain civil during this time. You know, they call this the silly season. But again, we want to thank you for your time, and we wish you all the best in the upcoming election and sending love and healing energy to you and your family at this time. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, buljoil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your...
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and this morning we continue with our conversations. Now, we know that we are again in the full swing of election things, as they say. And this morning, I am speaking with political analyst Indira Rampersad, and we are chatting about the announcement of that general election that's happening on April 28th. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. I'm just making sure that my guest is able to hear me. Mrs. Rampersad, are you there? We're having a bit of a technical issue as it pertains to her audio. Now, we heard on Tuesday, which came as quite a surprise to some, but not to everyone, that the general election would be taking place in just a month. Some persons are saying that this is a strategic move on the part of the People's National Movement. Some political parties have come out to say that they are totally ready. Some persons are calling their bluff because a number of candidates have not yet been announced. We saw that the IDA political leader, Denise Soyafat Angus, she came out recently indicating that the IDA would be announcing its official candidates on March 25th. And we heard from political leader Watson Duke that on March 24th, which is on Monday, he would be making an official announcement for his Tobago West candidate. We also look forward to hearing from the Tobago People's Party on Sunday at their convention that should be taking place, and we hope to find out who their official representatives are for Tobago East and Tobago West. Guys, we're going to take a quick break right here as we rectify our audio issues with our guests, and we'll be back right after this. We'll see you soon.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
It's a different type of thing down there, and we party till we drop down there, with a lot of pretty girls down there, down in Tobago.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. As indicated previously, we are hoping to reconnect with our guest political analyst Indira Rampasad. Good morning and welcome back. Good morning, Indira. As it relates to the elections, were you surprised at all of that announcement being in as short as 1 month? Unfortunately, I am unable to hear. I don't know if my producers can fix that. I don't know if the audience can hear, but I personally am unable to hear the guest at this time. So I will allow them to rectify that. So as I was indicating earlier, some persons were surprised, but some persons weren't. And the question lies, why would a new cabinet be sworn in and positions reshuffled only for an election to take place in as short as 1 month? But Gary Griffith gave us a different perspective this morning. He indicated that it was a matter of campaign readiness and not necessarily the functioning of the government. So we'd hear from political analyst Indira Ramprasad and her perspectives on this, and hopefully this can be rectified in a short space of time so that we can continue our discussions this morning. I'm extremely excited to have the conversation. Now, this morning we were supposed to be also chatting with Attorney General Camille Robinson Regis, but unfortunately her commitment this morning went over a bit and she won't be able to join us this morning. But I'm hoping that she's able to join us here on Tobago Updates tomorrow so that you guys can hear from her in that new portfolio as Attorney General and how she's treating with that. So I'm going to ask my producers if the guest audio is ready.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Back, guys, again, we want to apologize for some of the technical issues we've been having with our audio this morning. And so, political analyst Indira Ramprasad, I'm hoping that now we can reconnect. Are you there? Hello?
Hello, I can barely hear you.
All right, I can hear you now. So, as indicated earlier, for some persons, this election announcement came as a surprise, but for others, not so much. Can you tell us, were you expecting such a quick announcement?
I'm really not hearing you, you know.
You are not hearing me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yes, I was saying, for some persons, the announcement of elections on April 28th was expected, and for some persons, they were caught off guard. How was this for you? Were you expecting that announcement?
Again, your voice is dropping again. So, okay, I think I got the gist of the question. I am not surprised. I expected it to be April 28th. The pace at which the government was moving on a number of fronts, the resignation of the Prime Minister, the rally, the calling of the rally, the reshuffle, which was not really expected, but the date was not surprising to me at all. I thought it would be at the end of April.
Excellent. And do you think that the short time between announcement and election, do you think that that was strategic to ensure that the political opponents are not ready for elections or have the amount of time needed to hit the ground and engage the population?
It's a short time, but a day in politics is a lifetime. So a campaign can be in a month or it can be very effective. I think we may have had situations like that in the past. So I don't think it is detrimental to the other parties. And if that was the intention, I don't think it would be successful. I think that the parties will be ready. They will have a very intense campaign in a short period. But I think what it signals is I think the government is in turmoil. I think it's in chaos for the Prime Minister to have a rally on a Sunday, announce and have new ministers swearing on a Monday, and call an election date on a Tuesday suggests to me that all is not well. All is not well in their politics. There are issues. They are ironing out, and I think it had to do with the resignation of the Attorney General has left a void that they had to fill. Then, according to the Constitution, they had to swear in all new ministers under a new Prime Minister, which I think they were not aware of initially. And then we have the whole fiasco with who is the political leader of the PNM, who would be taking the party into the elections. Because it's not the Prime Minister that is fighting the elections for the PNM, it's the political leader of the PNM will be doing so. Dr. Rowley is still the incumbent political leader of the PNM. So is he going to take the party into the election? Or if not, how is that transfer of power going to take place? Is it an election of the political leader, which is the president, which is traditional, and it has to be democratic? The people has to elect their leader. Or is it going to be through some selection on democratic process that someone is going to be anointed as political leader of the party?
Understood.
So I think there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of controversial issues. There are a lot of chaos, mass chaos. I think they're given a semblance of stability, but I think that there are lots of concerns in the PNM party, and I think there are members therein who don't want to say anything at this time because their own political future could be in jeopardy, but also because the election is around the corner. But all is certainly not well in that party, and there is a mass confusion.
Well, I mean, I guess it can be said that all is not well on either side of the political spectrum. We saw that a number of top executives at the UNC headquarters has left the party, and now the party is having these coalitions and scrambling to bring persons on board to be a part of that. So do you think that it's just an overall reflection that all is not well politically in Trinidad and Tobago and not just in the PNM's camp?
Well, how can all be well in Trinidad and Tobago politically? When after a spate of murders in December, the Prime Minister announces a state of emergency, then announced his resignation, okay, and then we had signatures in Magdalena for and against the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, Stuart Young, 9/11. Then shortly after, we see them in Valley House signing, and 21 signers in his favor, which suggests that all was not well. So the country is in shambles, the economy is in shambles through mismanagement, I think. Refinery shutdown, foreign exchange shortage, a crisis in foreign exchange, I should say. The health sector in a mess, the property tax looming, the rising price of food and fuel and transportation and housing. The economy is on its knees. Crime is running out of proportion, and we still have a high level of crime despite the state of emergency. So there are multiple issues to deal with. Unemployment amongst our youth rampant. So these are all issues that pertain to politics. You require good governance for these things to be in order, and there are repercussions. Even the UK visa restriction from the United Kingdom has to do with the fact that there is now such a high rate of crime in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's not just about the asylum seekers, it's now the perception of Trinidad and Tobago being a crime-ridden country. So they're being very careful of who they let in, and they don't want to have to deal with that tech at the airport in Gatwick or Heathrow, Gatwick. They want to deal with that in Trinidad before it comes there. So they're very careful with who they allow, hence the visa restriction. So the politics is in a mess, but I think it all has to do with mismanagement of the economy, mismanagement of the crime situation, the government poor performance in the last 10 years.
Understood. And what do you think are some of the key issues that individuals would be voting on? Do you think that we can see a shift in voting patterns this time around, away from the usual PNM and UNC strongholds, or not much has happened significantly socially to change those patterns?
Oh, I just identify a whole number of issues. So those very issues are going to play in the platform. And I think they will have an impact, particularly crime and the economy. I think they will have an impact. People are suffering to a high extent, both in Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago, I think, is feeling the pinch with the unemployment rate, even the tourism industry. But in Trinidad, our graduates are coming out without jobs. Many of them are going to be voters, and if they're unemployed, I think in this scenario, I'm not sure they are going to come out to vote. Or I'm not sure who they're going to vote for. So we don't have polls, so it's difficult to say how their voting will go. But what I can say is that a high level of disenchantment on a number of issues which I just identified, and I expect those issues to play out in the platform by the opposition forces, and they are going to try to get BNM votes that way. Right. And they may succeed. I think it will also happen in Tobago.
Do you think that that is enough to allow for the third parties that have arisen, like the NTA and the Patriotic Front, to make significant headway in this general election?
No, I don't think the third party has a major role to play. I don't think they ever did, except in 2007 when the COP got 148,000 votes. But no seats nonetheless, so they didn't make a dent. They had no representation in the parliament. So no, I do not see the third parties having any significant role in this election, as have always obtained in the past.
Excellent. We want to thank you for giving us your views on that general election that has been announced for April 28th. I want to thank you for your time this morning. Viewers, we want to thank you for sticking with us this morning. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and I am wishing you all the best, but I'm going to just let you guys know that I'm heading off to vacation, so you may not see me for a short while. But don't worry, I'll be back, and I will be seeing you soon. All right, have a great day.
60,000 people strong.